Hey everyone, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. Today we are going to be talking about the disappearance of Caleb Harris. Caleb Harris went missing on March 4th of this year, 2024. I did a short video on this. I originally thought that he was probably going to be found within the next day or so because of the situation, but unfortunately now it's been 3 weeks. Before I get into this video, I just want to send thoughts and prayers out to the family of Riley Strain, his parents, all his loved ones. Sadly, his body was found in the Cumberland River, not far from where he was last seen and roughly 8 miles from downtown. I just hope and pray that his family will get the answers and find out what exactly happened to their dear son. I am so sorry for their loss and send my condolences out to them. Today we are going to be talking about another young man who is only 21 years old at the time of his disappearance, also another college student. Caleb Harris is a lover of the outdoors. He loved to fish especially. He also loved to hunt. Here is a picture of Caleb on one of his fishing trips. Caleb is 5'11". He's got brown hair and brown eyes and is roughly 185 pounds. We see thousands of disappearances around the world, sadly, every year. This one in particular is extremely bizarre. I'm going to go through the timeline with you. At roughly 1 a.m. on March 4th, based on ring cam footage, he, his 2 roommates, and a friend that was not living with them were seen outside playing with their new dog. They all appeared to be having a good time. Caleb is attending Texas A&M University-Corpus Christi location, studying environmental science. He eventually wanted to become a game warden or even possibly go into environmental law. His roommates he has known since he was in grade school. The families are all very close. He is known to be a very happy, loving young man. He's very content where he is. He had absolutely no reason to just wander off. These are just some pictures of the actual campus that he is attending. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. This is a picture of where he was living at the time, not on campus, but very close. This next picture is a map to give you an idea of where his residence is in relation to the campus. So that red dot is the residence area, and obviously you can see Texas A&M University-Corpus Christi not that far on Ennis-Jocelyn Road. At roughly 2 a.m. the night he went missing, one of his roommates and the other friend that was there hanging out, they left to go stay at one of the friend's girlfriend's apartments. The other roommate of Caleb's just went to bed. During this time, Caleb was in communication with his father. He, at then 2:45 a.m., told his father via Snapchat that he was going out to take the dog for a walk, which he did. He also mentioned that he had ordered from Uber Eats, which according to his family was not unusual. He was preparing for his next day of school. He ordered some Lunchables, some apple pie, and some Red Bull from a local convenience store, which his parents said was very typical of him. They knew that the next day after his classes, he was planning on going fishing. After he got done walking his new puppy, he brought the puppy back to the apartment, then went back outside, assumingly to wait for his Uber Eats. We know that he left his wallet inside, his car was locked, his keys were inside the apartment, and he went out barefoot. This is not the indication of somebody that was going to leave or not meaning to come right back into the house. Based on the camera footage that we do have, he was last seen in the 1900 block of Ennis-Jocelyn Road, roughly right before 3 a.m. It was also at this time where his phone apparently died. We do know that the Uber Eats order was delivered. The roommates found it on the doorstep the next morning. The Uber driver that had delivered it had marked it completed. They investigated that person. They talked to him or her. They were cleared of any involvement. The investigation had gotten started when that same Monday, the 4th, His family was no longer able to get in touch with him. His friends couldn't find him. He was reported missing, again, because all of his things were still left behind. This was very out of character for Caleb. Caleb has no physical disabilities or mental disabilities. They became very, very concerned. On March 6th, the Corpus Christi Police Department conducted a huge search for Caleb in the area that he was last seen. However, sadly, they found no leads. The investigators then went on to canvass the entire complex along with 30 empty apartments, knocking on every possible door, looking for more surveillance videos, because they thought that hopefully some of these people, even outside of the initial area, would have ring cams. They're still looking for people to come forward that might have ring cams or any type of video surveillance that could help give them any clues. The Corpus Christi Police Department released this statement: following the initial exhaustive but unsuccessful search of hundreds of acres surrounding Caleb's apartment complex on the 1900 block of Ennis Jocelyn Drive, criminal investigation detectives turned their efforts toward establishing a timeline for Harris in the hours and days preceding his sudden absence, interviewing his roommates, friends, family members, all of his acquaintances. Detectives at this point in the investigation said that they ruled all them out and have no reason to suspect any of those individuals had anything to do with Caleb Harris's disappearance. You can imagine at this point how scared and worried the family is. They're now 3 weeks past when they last heard and saw him. They have now offered a $25,000 reward. Between friends and family, they were able to put this money together. They are just praying and hoping that someone will come forward. They're asking that for the reward, please come forward before March 31st. Like with many disappearances, there are often many theories thrown out there. With this case, I really have no idea what could have happened to this young man. I personally do not believe that he left on his own free will. If this is a criminal situation, motive, what could possibly have been the motive to kidnap a young man that had no enemies, no money on him, was just standing out waiting for an Uber delivery? It just makes absolutely no sense. I pray and hope that people keep going back through their security footage if they do have a ring cam or any type of surveillance, anything that could possibly give the police some kind of lead. I think the family needs our thoughts and prayers and support. There are multiple agencies working on this investigation, including the Corpus Christi Police Criminal Investigation Division, their Organized Crime Unit, the FBI, the United States Marshal Service, and several civilian crime analysts. If anyone out there has any information that could help find Caleb Harris or knows anything about his whereabouts, please contact the Corpus Christi Police Department at 361-886-2840. I want to dedicate this video to Caleb Harris, his parents, all of his family, all of his loved ones, his friends, his roommates, all the search and rescue authorities that are still out looking for him. I just hope and pray that he is found safe and brought back to his family. If anyone watching has any information or a theory about what could have possibly happened or any plausible information that could possibly help the police, please get in touch with them. I'll have that in the description, or you can leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this video with as many people as you can to help spread the word of Caleb's disappearance. Unfortunately, his disappearance hasn't gotten anywhere near the media coverage or social media platforms that reported on Riley Strain's case. I think the best thing we can do is keep sharing Caleb's story, and hopefully someone will come forward with either evidence or some kind of knowledge of what happened that night. Thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Thank you for everyone that stuck with me to the end. I did have one thought or possibility. It could be that he was the victim of a hit and run. As many of you are aware, a few years back I was the victim of a hit and run. Mine happened in the middle of the day on a weekend, and there was several witnesses that were 100 feet away or more, but they were able to identify the color of the car, sort of the make, and they could see that it was a female because her hair was flying out and she yelled something out after it happened. Of course, they found pieces of the car all over the place. I was knocked unconscious, woke up in the hospital. The police later told me that in these incidences, a lot of times the people flee because they're scared of the consequences. I hope and pray this isn't what happened to Caleb. I hope he's out there somewhere trying to find his way home. Maybe he is injured and in a hospital because he has no ID, but with the media coverage, hopefully somebody would notify the authorities. I hope and pray this young man is reunited with his family and friends soon.